Hey there, welcome everyone to another Tuesday night watch talk with Bobby Legs and friends. I'm hoping that you guys had a great weekend. A lot of rain here in Northeast, so over the last couple of days. So it was kind of like, trying to keep the kids entertained all weekend, right? And so that took up a lot of the time and was able to have a great time with Sunday night watch soup with Clayton this past week. If you guys haven't checked that one out, please do so. Please go back and check it out. And also, I think it's available on podcast form. So wherever you listen to your podcasts, you should be able to look us up and hear that episode. So anyway, wearing the citizen the citizen, right? The affectionately called the chicken. We've called it the chicken here just because of the little eagle on there reminds us. I like chicken. I like roosters, right? I like the I think it goes back to like when I was a kid in Puerto Rico. Well, I used to live in Puerto Rico for a couple of years, and my my grandfather had roosters and stuff like that, and chickens, and so like I think that kind of brings me back to that plantains and coconuts and anyway, also bring me back to that. Yeah, a couple topics this evening that we're going to be talking about. Got a great suggestion from our friend Deech. Is your collection too brand heavy, or has that ever happened to you? And I certainly can speak about that. Have had that experience, and also we're going to be talking about probably one of the worst collabs, if you can call it that. I guess you can because two different parties had come together to put out a watch, and that came out today. And we'll be discussing that further. It's just brutal. Anyway, I want to say hello to you guys and go through the chat here. Let me know what you are wearing. Let me know if your collection is too brand heavy. And if that's a problem, that may not be a problem. That may not be a problem for some. Um, hey Marzo, how you doing? Wearing this Tudor GMT Opaline dial, beautiful watch. James is here this evening wearing the Europe exclusive titanium Citizen Fugu. Fugu. Steve is here. Time Hill, how you doing? Bill K, what is up? Peter C is here. Hey Peter, how you doing? Joey B is here. Mez9 is here as well. Chaz from the Berg, let's go. Hey, Easy Clayton, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. There's Deech. How you doing, my friend? BJ is here. Canadian Watch Monkey is here. Justin is strapped in. Kevin S. Brand heavy? Never heard of that one. Yeah, I think Kevin knows. I don't think it bothers Kevin though one bit. But he's definitely been around some discussions about that lately. Some of us have felt that way. Um, Underachieving watch collector is here. How you doing? Uh, yeah, Slayer hoodie. I mean, it's just so comfortable, man. I mean, you know, and it's still a little chilly. It's like well, May 2nd today. Still pretty chilly in my neck of the woods, which I like. I don't like the heat, man. I'm just hold off as much as possible with the heat, please. Um, yeah, there it is, chickens. Hey, Clayton from the Watchdog Podcast. Hello. Caliber YQG is here. Um, is that like the Ohio State University? Yeah. Platanos. That's right. Love them. Love them. Hey, Thomas Burnett. How you doing, Thomas Burnett? One of the members of the Bobby Legs Loves Watches community group, YouTube group. If you see the join button below, you can join in. We got together last night, a bunch of us from that group in the Bobby Legs Loves Watches Discord, and chatted up for a little while last night. It was good. Hopefully, we can do that as a regular. And there's other threads of discussion there as well. But we actually had a voice chat, live chat. It was fun. Um, Mr. Finney, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah. Yes, the Bruce Dickinson. I put my pants on one leg at a time, but when I put my pants on, I make gold records. Okay, okay. Um, Jeffrey O'Neill, how you doing, sir? I'm wearing this two-layer black bait ceramic strapped on. Excellent. Um, Dude, Bobby Legs is a New Yorican. Yeah, I never lived in New York. But yeah, sure, Jersey weekend. So I'm half Puerto Rican, and I used to have a coach, a football coach, my freshman year. He caught wind of it because my last name is not Spanish, right? And he's like, you're half Puerto Rican, and he started calling me like sorta Rican. It's like you're sorta Rican, right? Yeah, pretty pretty funny. Um, I My last name sounds like it's Polish, so I also get like Polo Rican. I get that a lot. Yeah, yeah. So that was fun. That was fun. By the way, I mean I had a nickname for that guy. He was a little bit he was a hefty fellow, and we used to call him Coach McMuffin. Anyway, moving forward. Canadian Watch Monkey's wearing his Panerai 380. Joey B wearing his green Aqua Terra tonight. Jeffrey O'Neill, brand heavy. I have way too many G-Shocks. No, it doesn't. Doesn't count. You're okay. You're okay. No stress. Don't worry about it. You all have had way too many G-Shocks, but it doesn't count. It doesn't count. So you're good. BJ's wearing his IWC Pilot 36 tonight. Excellent piece. Love that watch. Hey, Brace Sailor, haven't seen you in a while. Didn't see you are a San Francisco Wind Up Watch Fair. Where were you? If you're talking to me, I mean, I was on the other side of the country, and I'm in the East Coast, but I was at the Wind Up Watch Fair. Was it Wind Up? Was it Wind Up in October of this past year in New York City? There was two of them at the same time. I always get them confused. It's Wind Up and Watch Time, you know. Anyway, I was there, and we'll be there this year in October for those two events. I think they're coinciding again. Anish is here wearing his SBGA 413 Shumbun on tonight. Man, I really like that watch, man. Anish, I really, really like that watch. I think like if I'm in a position, um, and have like the desire for another Grand Seiko. I've only had one, but if I get to a point where like I want a Grand Seiko, I mean that I think the Shumbun's going to be the one. Love that dial, love the color. Clayton's wearing his Chapek Antarctique. Great looking watch. Um, I'm going all or work. Pivot time for me, baby. Oh man, imagine having like three or four Urwerks in a collection. That's crazy. Uh, Tudor P01 on wrist. Yeah. James says my collection is Seiko heavy, but a good mix. And speaking of a good mix, hey, there's Amin.
Hey, Rob.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Doing
Good,
good.
good. I'm just rifling through seeing all the chat.
Yep,
You
yeah,
had a
I've been
big,
listening.
you had a big day, and I wanna hear about your day today.
Yeah.
Just give me a few there. Um, Grant Seiko tonight for Kevin S. The SBGR 3005. Um, Urban Jurgensen for Steve. Tudor Ranger for Mes9. Um, and Chaz, riveting a dialogue over there in the Bobby Legs Discord. Thomas knows how to throw a party, man. Yeah, Thomas was there, and Thomas is like 5, 6 hours ahead, man. I mean, he is such a trooper,
He's a
man.
trooper.
Total trooper, man. I don't know how he does it. I don't think he sleeps.
He must
Um,
he must be a late night guy, you know?
yeah,
Some
yeah,
people
yeah,
stay
yeah.
up late, sleep in a
Mm.
little.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be naturally a late night person, right? To
Yeah.
say, right? I mean, I'm not anymore. Not for like a really long time. I've always, but even though I've always, when I was young, woken up early and gone to bed like relatively, like not like 10 o'clock.
Mhm.
That's my routine. And then like when I got in my 20s, it was later than that. But I've kind of gotten back to that in the last like 10, 15 years for sure. Um, Big Wrist is here. He's today. I'm sporting the GA 2100 on Combi. Very nice. Wait,
Cool.
Ben, what's up? Uh, Pelly left-handed drive for Mr. Finney. He just got that one in there today. Um, KR Joy is here. How you doing, KR? Um, okay, Thomas, Kevin. Hey, Colin's here wearing his FXT. Anish, hey, Anish joined the YouTube,
Nice.
Bobby Likes YouTube. Anish, please send me an email when you have a chance. I know we've communicated via email before, and I'll hook you up a link to the Discord, and look forward to chatting it up. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Um, Wayben's wearing his Grand Seiko-esque Citizen Blue Silverleaf. Very, very nice. Um, okay. Hey, before we get into a couple of the topics, you had an adventure today, right? With a friend
Yeah.
of ours here who's not on the chat, but tell us a little bit about it. Who
I
did
don't
you
think
have a
he'd
visit with?
mind if I
No,
say, right?
yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So our friend, our mutual friend Dib is in town in Boston. He brought his mom back this way to get a direct flight back home, and yeah, we hung out for the late morning and after most of the afternoon. We went to my favorite AD, which is Royal Jewelers in Andover,
Yeah.
and then we got some lunch at Quincy Market, and then we hit where do we go? Bulgari Boutique. We skipped Rolex Boutique. We skipped the Lange
Hmm.
Boutique. Um, we went to Shreve Crump and Low, and we went to European Watch. It was my first time in European Watch, which was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It was fun. Good,
so so
great to see Dib.
yeah, so you've met in person before, right? So
We met.
yeah,
Yep, yep.
yeah,
At watch time.
at watch time. Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go. And so like I feel like it must be so much fun going to see watches with Dib. I don't know why.
it is
Um,
fun. I mean, because he loves
it is.
watches, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and he knows them really well, you know,
yeah,
and it's a lot of fun. Plus, he's got interesting taste, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So what did you see him like what 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 was was there anything that interested him? Let's start with that.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, um, some of you may know that Dib recently has been talking about, you know, taking a break or
Yeah.
right. So we're I give him a space. You know what I mean. I'm not we're both looking at watches, right? We're on different sides of the store,
Yeah.
and I hear something like, "Amin, I'm having a crisis." And so, yeah, I go over, what's the crisis? Basically, he's fallen in love with a Pam, right? With
Yeah.
a Panerai.
Yeah.
I forget the reference. Did put it in the chat or jump on the
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah, we're jumping on yeah.
233 maybe? It was a GMT 7-day uh power reserve, more than 7-day, but 7-day chronometric power reserve with a zero reset and AM PM indicator for the GMT. Really big bubble. Oh, he's driving bubble crystal and a really special case. So he's fallen in love over there, and the condition was incredible on a pre-owned piece, and the price was good. So he's starting to, starting to sweat a little bit thinking about this
Yeah,
watch.
I'll pull up I'll pull up the piece.
Oh, 8-day GMT, but apparently Dib says it's got a 10-day power reserve, but you know, it's rated for 8, but because of I guess that's where it's most accurate.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, that's a good looking watch for
yeah,
sure.
yep, yep,
8-day power reserve. Oh, I like how they indicate the power reserve, right? It's kind of like on a straight line,
yep.
a horizontal line there like that. Yeah, yeah. Good.
Really, really bubble crystal, and then not a typical luminar case. I guess it's a special case. So, but they had a lot of cool stuff. They had a Tortue, Cartier Tortue.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm
really?
pronouncing that right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Which was that collaboration between, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Effie
Journe
Jorn,
and
yeah, his group.
Denis Flageolet from now, you know, de Bethune and Vianney halter. So yeah, there are other watches too. That's my favorite AD. And the other nice thing about this AD is that they do nice discounts, and they just tell you upfront, like basically how what they can do for you on a watch. You know, very straightforward, nice people, treat you well. Um, so it was a tortue that, but it was torture for Dib because he's
It's
so
those are beautiful watches.
yeah,
See, I think this is was it gold or was it
yeah, yeah. Rose looked like rose to me with a display
um
case back.
see here, let's do this on here. Um like this.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean these things have skyrocketed in price over the last couple of years.
Mm,
I remember I remember Bill Sanders talking about this a couple of years
mm,
ago, and I remember looking and not precious metal, just looking, I think, well, no, I think they only come in precious metal.
think
Anyway,
so.
I could be wrong. But like I seen these pieces at that time, and that's like 3 years ago, 3, 4 years ago, for around like 12 to 15,000. I totally recall that.
Mm.
Um, and
I think
and
it
it
was a
seems
different version though, Rob.
could
I
be,
think.
could be,
Yeah,
could be, could be. Um, but anyway, just beautiful, beautiful piece.
yeah.
Um,
And the sales manager was telling me that this version that they have is the only one with a display back, that most have a solid case back.
mm,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
badass watch. So,
Uh,
what else they have? Dib, we know he likes, Hublot. So when we went to Shreve, they had the Hublot.
yeah.
Uh, the At European, they brought out a few Breguet traditions. The 7097 are the retrograde seconds in two different metals, and then the 7057 in rose and the 7027 in yellow. Um, it was pretty interesting. It was a fun day. I would say the best AD we went to was Royal, where you know they just treat you well. This place we're talking about. Rob Freeze? No. Okay. And then the most interesting was European Watch because that
Hmm.
guy basically was like, you know, most people are flippers. Like, you guys are probably flippers. Like, he didn't say it this way, right? But
Yeah.
I went in wanting to see an Ophion. He's like, you guys don't want an Ophion. He's like, you know, he's like, you lose your money. It's not even that good. Like the quality's like, you know, but you know, it was interesting. He was very, um, you know, no filter,
Yeah.
nice, super nice guy. But it was interesting.
How was
Um,
how's driving with it? Because we know
it's
he's like
great.
an angry driver.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't say. I felt like he was probably judging my driving,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
he didn't, you know, do anything like that. I was at one point I was driving like 63 and a 65 stuck behind the guy in the middle lane for a long time, and all I could think of was like, you know, I could Dib's probably gonna have a stroke, but if I pass this guy on the left, like I might, you know, what if I get a speeding ticket, you know? So and then and then the first time I had to parallel park, I pretty much had you know, the equivalent of erectile dysfunction on the parallel
Yeah,
park. You know, like I mean, I grew up on Long Island, you know, lived
yeah,
in New York for a lot of my life. Like
yeah.
I can parallel park well, but I totally hit the curb because Dib
That's
sitting there. Um,
uh,
but then later he could tell you I had to then parallel park on a left curb in a very tight spot,
and you nailed it.
and I
Okay, and
nailed
you
it.
made up for
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Look, I mean, Dib can't be judging you. I mean, I doubt he parallel parks at all in Atlanta.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So they just pull up to their parking spots.
Yep, yep, yep.
So don't let him affect you on
Yeah.
that end.
It was great. It was great. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's great to see Dib.
Wendy Crowns. Hey, what's up, Bobby? And I'm hey, what's up, Wendy Crowns? Good to see you. What were you both wearing?
Dib was wearing his extremely limited edition Grand Seiko. It's a
Mm,
version of the snowflake that was made for in very small numbers for a particular store, I think
in
in
Japan,
Asia.
right? Yeah.
Yep. and I was wearing Dib wanted to see the Urwerk, and he wanted to see the Roboto, so I
Mm,
double wristed
nice,
those guys. Yeah.
nice, nice.
With a jacket over so that,
Yeah, yeah.
sleeves over so I don't look like a lunatic.
Did
Yeah.
did did anybody so out of any of the ADs that you went to or secondary market sellers? Well, I mean, did anybody like notice the robot or the Roboto or the Urwerk? Did anybody say anything or
I ended up changing. I actually brought 3 watches to show Dib
yeah?
the Paddock World Time, and,
Oh, okay.
I ended up changing, um but so I think, the Roboto nobody knows the Roboto. The other 2, they saw.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. Um, Sean's here. Hey, no worries. No need to apologize. Um, European watch has treated me well on some
Mm.
purchases. Yeah, for sure. Kevin has given Amin the Ophion harsh medicine.
Yeah, I was really kinda surprised because, it's they're selling the watch, right? They carry the watch. It's not like I asked them about, you know, um, some watch that they would never carry, and then then they'd be like, "Oh, no, we wouldn't buy that. You shouldn't buy it either," right? But this is like
Yeah,
they're selling the watch, and
I
the
know.
guy's tell
That's
yeah.
funny.
He's like
That's so funny.
like, "You don't want that." He said something like, "Maybe if you were gonna buy an Oris, like, this might be a better option," but
That's great. I mean, I love that.
yeah, he said something like that, but he was like, "Yeah, yeah, don't." He really steered us away from the
Yeah.
Ophion.
Uh, Finney's asking, was that guy that you're driving behind in a Corolla? In a Corolla, because Dib hates Corollas. Performance anxiety.
Yep, that's what happened to me.
Chaz making fun of my secondary market seller places. Yeah, I said that, Chaz. That's right. Um, Colin says he could not, in good conscience, let you buy that Ophion while you had a Patek and Urwerk on.
He also said, "Yeah, if you like the lugs, like, I'm sure you could find a vintage, Vacheron for not too much money," you know?
Yeah,
Better way to spend your money.
yeah. Kevin insulting Ophion with Oris. I need to be this guy. Oh man. Bobby here. The watch salesman wasn't prepared for the customer wearing an Urwerk Roboto and GS and went on the offensive. Yeah.
He
Um,
ended up being very, very good guy.
yeah.
I would go back. Now that I know they have a showroom and that they're willing to bring out any watches, like, they have
Mm,
everything there. They just don't have it all out. You sit in this nice
mm,
room, and then the
hmm.
guy goes back. Anything you see on the website you like, he goes to the back, he comes out with it.
Is it a big storefront? I mean, is it just or is it like
No, no, you go to the 4th floor, where their
oh,
suite is.
okay.
They buzz you in. They
Uh-huh.
they bring you to this room, which is basically got, a couple of tables with chairs at each one, so
Mm,
they could probably do 2 clients at the same time.
mm, mm.
And then, you sit on one side of the table, guy comes out, shakes your hand, asks what you're interested in. Then he
Oh,
he goes to the back, he brings it out to the
okay.
table. Yeah, so he
Oh,
brought
okay.
out, 3, 4 watches at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so there's not even like anything showcased in
Nothing.
that room.
0.
Okay.
I mean, some books, some nice
Yeah,
photos.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. A painting or something like
Yep, yep.
that. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Finney saying you don't look at a Breguet and Ophions at the same
I think
setting.
I set the mood incorrectly by asking about the Ophion first. I probably should have started with we should have started with the Breguets and ended with the Ophions instead of the other way around.
Yeah, 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 for
Because
sure.
at first, the first 10 minutes, the vibe I was getting is like, "Ugh, I wish, what the F, I wish you guys would leave," kind of feeling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then but I realized after a while that's not really what it was.
yeah.
He was a good guy.
Steve saying I just arrived and I heard there's a room where they can do two clients. What kind of place is that? We're talking about European watch company. Uh, yeah. Hey Steve. Okay. All right. So thanks for the report.
Yeah, it was
Always
good fun.
always good to see somebody interact with it. I just love hearing story. I don't know why. He's almost like a mascot. You know what I mean? Dude?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the guy. He's like a little brother. So like when he like has some alone time with Amin and alone time with Wolfie, alone time with Kevin S.
Yeah, we
You know
went
what I
to,
mean? It's great.
Bulgari, and
Yeah,
he asked for the world to see the world time, and, the Bulgari salespeople, like, they kinda didn't know what he was talking about, right? They definitely didn't have it there, they kinda didn't know.
yeah,
So he tried out a GMT chronograph, and, like, he looked at one other watch, and I was like, you know, I was kinda like, um, "Is there anything else you wanna see here?" And he's like, "I don't think there is anything to see here." It's just like it was funny. But yeah, Bulgari, I'm sure that there's no Bulgari people hearing us, but they never know their watches
yeah.
when I go there.
Mm.
Yeah. They're about the
And
jewelry.
you guys have you guys had a nice lunch, I would imagine.
I took him to, Quincy Market, which is just like like a, what's the word? Like a when you go to the mall and there's, like, the food court.
Yeah, food court. Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
like a giant food court,
Yeah.
but a kinda historic one in
Yeah.
Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Constantly, yeah, these guys don't know their about
Yeah.
their watches.
Nothing.
Bulg- Bulgari people, is that a thing? Yeah. Well, let's move on a little bit, and it's awesome that you had a great day with Deb, and
Yeah.
hope to can't wait to see him. Hopefully, we'll get to see him again in October in New York City. But moving on, um, Dicha, had a suggestion for a topic tonight earlier with me, and he said, you know what? And I think he's experiencing a little bit of this. Is there a point where you've ever been in your collection where um, it's been too brand heavy? And I think he's picked up a lot of Seikos. I know
Mm,
Joey B's picked up some Omegas, but he's very very happy with that.
mm,
I know for me, there's been times when, well, I mean, even in recent months, I had ramped up the Seikos and I had about 5 Seikos, which was at the time like half the collection. And I feel like it, because they're kind of like in the affordable range. Like I just didn't get as much anxiety about it, and even though they're mostly alike, four of them were divers. Um, you know, a couple of them did look very familiar, very similar. Especially, I ended up getting like 3 or 4 pieces that were that black coating, that black DLC that they have. And so, I didn't feel like, I was in any anxiety or that it was too brand heavy. I ended up selling some of them, but there's
mm,
been times when I had like maybe 3 or 4 Zins in a collection too, and never really felt that. Is that an issue for you? I know for the longest time you only
mm.
had in your collection like one watch per one brand in a
Yeah.
collection. And I think you kind of stick to that, even though you say it's not as important. I've heard you say that maybe it's not as necessarily an important thing anymore. How do you feel about?
Yeah, until maybe a year or 2 ago, I kind of forced it, like, no more than 1 watch per brand in my collection, except I think I always made exceptions for Seikos, especially not non-expensive Seikos. Um, the and it was sort of a way of trying to experience lots of different things. Um, you know, our friend Kevin, who's in the chat, has I've spoken with him about how he uses limiting himself to basically Grand Seiko, Rolex, Seiko, Tudor, and I'd say Omega, right? Those
Mhm,
brands as a way to focus as a collector and to not, you know, just to have some kind of built-in control over just being willy-nilly, if I hope
mhm,
I'm saying it right.
yeah,
And I can see, I mean, that's actually quite a few brands. I know he focused on certain brands probably more than others, probably
mhm,
Grand Seiko and Rolex, maybe mostly. Um, and I like the idea of having some kind of built-in focus, but I guess I haven't done it with brand. I haven't done that period, but I do
yeah,
like that idea in principle. I don't know that I would do it with brands, and I'm not sure what a better way to do it would be.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, um, and I think Sean knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, brand heavy seems to always be associated with affordable brands. I bought a bunch of CWs and sold all but two. I think it's really easy to get caught up, for me anyway, with a bloat of a brand, especially when they're more affordable, right? I can get
Mm,
more at a time, and it's a quick fix and whatnot. Um, I, you know, I don't. I think at one point I did follow that, like, one brand, one per in the collection, and I got into some brands like Zen and whatnot, and I was like, you know what, uh, I'm okay. I could deal with it. I mean, if I really really like the watch, I think that's the important part too. If you really really like the piece, anyway, for me, it doesn't matter how many of the same I have. Like, I still would like to have multiple Rolexes.
mm.
I still would like to, get into Omega, and there's like 3 or 4 Omegas that I would love to pick up in collection. Um, but um, as far as any kind of like feeling that it's brand heaviness, I don't know if I'm in that space right now. I don't think that would be a problem for me.
I like the feeling of having, 3 brigades, in other words,
Yeah,
like,
right, right.
I liked having, a sub collection
Yeah.
and having, like, different aspects of a single brand. So I actually see that as a positive, but
Mm,
not enough to make me keep that if there's something I
mhm.
something more interesting, right? So
Um, you mentioned, your Patek World Timer.
mm,
Um, is that a brand that you can see yourself picking up multiple ones? Look, I mean,
yeah,
I know the prices are astronomical, but like if there's like a couple that you see and you've got some equity in your collection,
mm,
making possible moves,
yeah.
is that a brand that you could see yourself having a few?
I've thought about it,
Yeah,
like, maybe an annual calendar and Calatrava or something like that. I wouldn't rule it out, but I think there's other stuff I like better right now.
no. Chaz is saying he's torn between Urwerk and MBNF. That's my brand, heavy brand. Marceau's saying I've had many Oris watches over the years, and at one point I had five. I'm down to one today. Yeah, just get rid of all of them, Marceau. Get rid of all the Orises. Um, pretty much spot on, Amin, in regards to, and look, I mean, I think there is something there to Kevin's formula, right?
Mm,
His um, of keeping it simple in his mind, of 4 or 5 brands
mm,
that he's going to focus on, because like I'm on my computer, and sometimes I'm thinking, okay, do I, wouldn't it be awesome to trade this and get like, an Omega, a Zen, a Formax, and it just gets out of hand like really
mm,
really quickly, and so it's comical, right? And so if I could keep my focus to like 3 or 4 brands,
mm.
and just collect those, man, that would actually make things a lot simpler. I just I just see a lot of shiny objects, and I
That's the
just like,
thing, is
yeah.
that if you don't have brand focus, then we're seeing, like, a
Hmm.
million I would like that moments a day, right? With all
Yeah,
different kinds of brands. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, all there's, um, like a Benzinger, and then there's like, like like, do I go Kotoki? Do I Garrick? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Lana Lane. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And then just like
At all different
Omega
price levels.
at all
Christopher
different prices.
Ward.
Right. Right,
Yeah,
right, 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 right. Christopher Ward, and then
yeah,
Omega, Rolex, and
yeah,
yeah, it's tough, and maybe Kevin has the right idea.
yeah.
Certainly works for him. It may work for me, and maybe it's something that I should give it a shot. BJ's saying that he currently has 3 Speedmasters. Definitely need to sell one or two. Justin saying I've previously considered collecting only Speedies, like
Mhm,
all the weird ones. Yeah, I mean you could definitely go down that rabbit hole, right? Um, let's see here. Omega is a great brand to concentrate on. So many great, like right off the bat, like I want a Speedmaster. I want a two-tone Seamaster. Love to have, the Constellation, the Globemaster annual calendar that you had at one point. It's a
Mhm.
great watch. I love that watch too. I mean, there's 3 or 4 Omega
Mm.
easily, and then you can go down that speedy rabbit hole. There's the Moon watch, there's the racing, there's so many options. Yes, yeah, Omega is a great brand to do that with. Joey B, he has 3, and he's like having James Harden hit a game-winning three-pointer. Oh, he's throwing that in from last night very nicely done. Um, Con Brigay and Paddock only strong move. Uh, Mr. Cassioc saying Chrono Driver dress piece Omega has them all vintage and modern. Yeah, that's the good point, Steve. That's the other thing with Omega. You can go vintage too. You can get scratch that vintage itch with an old Seamaster or uh, you know constellation like Pi Pan dial constellation. Um, Scott's saying, I'd love to own more Omega, but they make so few watches that look good on small wrists.
Hmm.
Hmm. Never thought of it that way. Nilo saying, I'm simple. I stick to watches that have rotating bezels. There you go. Div saying, I hear collecting 3 Christopher Ward 12s is better than having one chap. Okay, Christopher, he's starting here. He's starting some stuff here. Um, Kevin saying, in the words of the esteemed Dr. Lecter, we begin to covet what we see every day. Nice pull from Silence of the Lambs for sure. Um, okay. Well, and moving on, let's jump in. Look, hey, I don't know if you saw this today, Amin, but I think I've saw like one of the worst collabs that I've seen in a really long time. And I mean, look, I don't want to knock the brand or the guy because he's there. I mean, the guy is very successful at what he does. So
Oh, I think
he
I saw this.
yeah,
Did
so he
Chaz
knows.
post? Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and that's the this
Mm.
Pounder Phoebus limited edition Reef Master. Man, I mean, this is it's limited to 100. And rightfully so. But this is just terrible. I'm sorry. I mean, I wanna I
Can you
wanna be
zoom in
positive.
again?
Sure,
You
absolutely.
is it like,
Looks like a sandwich style, right?
is it sparkly? Is it textured?
It looks like it's textured. Yeah.
Okay.
Um. Uh, I mean, like, look. I mean, it's full price, right? You're not getting the watch
Limited.
discount, right? That it usually does. There's nothing appealing. I'm sorry. I mean, if there's people on the chat who are Phoebus fans, is there people on the chat who likes Mark's
The chat.
releases? Um, I just can't do it. Blasphemous use of orange here. Yeah, limited by the hideous design. Need to limit to 0.
Uh,
The Barney. Um,
so I have one nice thing to say about this, and
okay.
and not a joke either.
Yeah.
So somebody sent me the link to the Long Island watch video, video about this watch,
Hmm.
and on the wrist, looking at it, the purple looked nice. Like the hue of purple or the quality of the purple that they chose. I liked it. I mean, that's unrelated to the design, the hands, the case, the dial, design, everything. I just mean the color. The color looked
Yeah.
nice.
Who? Maybe you can answer this, Amen, or maybe
Yeah.
the chat can answer this. Who is asking for this? Like who thought that this would be okay?
I think for Phoebus said Mark can
You think
maybe
it's
sell
Phoebus? Who you think it's Phoebus?
Phoebus
Phoebus?
Phoebus maybe said Mark can help unload 20 of these or whatever it may be.
100.
100.
No, nobody, absolutely nobody was writing in to the CEO of Phoebus and the CEO of and Mark and saying, you guys have to come together on this one. Mark, you do these Seiko basically um, um, not even homages, Seiko copies, and they're great, and you should get team up with Phoebus because, oh, dude, I mean, I don't know, man.
Okay, okay. The watch is horrible, but just the color purple. Imagine like a good-looking dial and a good case and good hands with that color. It's not a horrible color. Okay, okay. I
Yeah, yeah.
tried.
Imagine a good-looking watch, a good case, and a great color.
Yeah.
Is not the three things I think about when I see that watch.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, it's hard. I it's horrible. I agree.
I just like who is this for? Like, I mean, like what, did they sit together? Was there a meeting of the minds and saying, we got at least 100 people who will buy this thing, man. Let's just
I'll
do
tell
it.
you, you went to Wind Up with last year.
Yeah,
I met you there.
yeah.
We both saw Mark at a table
He's like
like
a
a
cult
rock
figure.
star, like a rock
Yeah,
star.
yeah.
The table, people trying to get closer to him, take pictures with him. I mean, the guy puts up a collab plus the Venn diagram of like Phoebus fans, Islander watch fans. I'm sure there's some intersection there. Um, he's going to sell these 100 watches.
No, no, well, I mean, yeah. The crazy thing is he hasn't sold them out already, right?
That's true.
But I wonder they must be numbered. I don't know, man. I mean, I think this is just and it's insulting. It's insult. I mean, maybe that's a little too far, but but it's insulting, man. I mean, like, you know, like I'm looking. It's like I'm looking at somebody robbing a bank in slow motion right now, and there's nothing that I can do about it, except for just letting it happen because, maybe the bank deserves to be robbed, you know? I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, like, maybe this shouldn't bother me as much as it does, man. I mean, like, we're just talking about, like, a collaboration. We're just talking about watches, man. We're just talking about
Yep.
watches,
Yep.
right? We're just talking about Phoebus and Mark from Long Island Watch making a watch.
I think
We're just
maybe the bank deserves to be robbed is a good place to settle
Yeah,
with this
yeah.
one.
Um, Chad saying Amish children must be watching, and he's trying to teach a lesson in kindness. Um, Tinky Winky Watch. If Virgin Rollerblading Enthusiast was a watch, um, sounds like Bobby Legs ain't getting any plane tickets to San Fran anytime. No, no. Look, and like you know, I don't, Mark doesn't know. I got a little small little channel. You know what I mean? Like, so
Mm.
I'm not hurting Mark. He doesn't need to worry about me. But this is just terrible, man. This is just a culmination of a lot of hoodwinking, and it's sad, man. It's really really sad. Um, it's really sad. I mean, this is just a not like a D level micro brand, and 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 just like a guy peddling crap, and and then at the end of the day they're charging $335 for this, and people are gonna buy it, a full price, you know.
Who do you think does this hurt Mark, hurt Phoebus, hurt neither, help
Doesn't
one
hurt
of
any.
them?
No, I don't think it hurts any of them.
Mm.
No, it hurt, I'm sorry, it hurts the end consumer, I think.
Okay. But
You know what I mean?
but would you say Islander and Phoebus are on the same level before this?
I got to be honest with you. I'm surprised that Mark is doing this one.
Yeah, yeah. Because Phoebus, I think, is one of these real rip-off ones, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And he's trying to do some more original stuff, and
yeah.
then
I
he's
mean, like,
partnering with the rip-off guys.
yeah. I mean, like, I totally get that TGV collab. I mean, the watch is terrible,
Mm,
but I get him collaborating with TGV. I
mm,
get
mm,
that. That is understand. Like whatever collaboration he does with Squale, right?
mm,
That I mean, how do you go from Squale? I mean, like, and Squale is not like
mm.
whatever, but I mean, how do you go from like Squale and then go to this is such a step down for him.
Maybe they're paying him to do this.
Of course, yeah. I
This
mean,
this is
yeah,
this is
yeah,
elevating Phoebus.
yeah.
Maybe they're paying him really well to do this,
I
to
hope
give
so,
them
man.
some credibility.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Mark gets as much money as he can as fast as he can. I mean, like,
Mm,
I don't begrudge him for doing that.
mm,
Um, but um, but it's just a terrible product, man. I mean,
mm,
there's no way he's proud of that.
mm.
There's no way he's proud of that. You know what I mean? I mean, Phoebus is, they're excited. They're like, let's do another batch of 100 probably.
Let me pull up Phoebus. I wanna see what
Yeah.
their
Okay.
catalog looks like,
I'll
'cause I
catch up
thought
with
it
the
was
chat.
all rip-offs.
I think the color tint on your phone is broken, Amin.
It could be. So it's a
Uh,
terrible purple? Is that the
it looks like. Um, I could be into a purple watch, not this one. Um, Dip saying this, the sucker who needs to spend 335 on this watch is absolutely, they absolutely don't need. Sean saying nobody. The funny thing is, Phoebus had problems selling the original Reef Master. Um,
So here's Phoebus new arrivals. I mean, these aren't direct rip-offs, so from that standpoint, I would say it's kinda like Islander watch. They're almost like equals.
yeah, I don't know. I don't. I still think Phoebus needs Mark more than Mark needs Phoebus.
Mm.
Um, Scott thinks that the Rangemaster is still worse. I hear Random Rob asked for this one on his Monday Night live stream. Just another, the thing I admire most about Mark is that he's able to keep a straight face, has to be a gift. Um, are those squally hands? I'm waiting for him to knock off $100. He might, man. I mean, like, I don't know. Mm. Uh, please, Rob, let's not tarnish Prince. He's a genius. Look, I mean, Prince, wore purple better than anybody. Um, I told you that the watch repels mosquitoes. Great summer watch by. Some watches, Colin says, have no irredeemable qualities. This is an example. Wait a minute. So what? Nobody asked for it, but now that it's here, it will sell. Um, yeah, no, no. I mean, well, it's 100 pieces. I mean, like, there's probably 100 people who'd buy this watch. There's probably a certain amount of people who will buy anything that Mark puts out, right? Especially if it's a collab. Um, but it's still there. It's still there. Peter C, have they sold out? No, they haven't. Um, no meaning. They just spun wheel and dumped out the parts bin to make this. Um, Imagine if that watch had a nice dial, case movement, and hands. We might be into something.
I think I had Phoebus confused with another company. So,
Mark is like Jackie Chan. Jackie makes a movie every week, and Mark comes out with a new watch every week. McDonald's Grimace. Mark was a rock star at the wind up in New York City. One guy said he wanted to talk to Mark, but was just too nervous to go up to him. Kevin, we know you were too nervous, but you still were able to walk up to him. Nice of you. Um, Tim Masso, Bobby says a brand is as loyal to you as your last purchase. A main brand doesn't care about your feelings. Just any form of payment would include organ donations if it was legal. Nilo saying group watch. There's probably enough left. Maybe Baltimore Ravens. Okay, fair enough, Ray. Um, It's a cheap POS, like collecting crap at the bottom of a Cracker Jack box. Congratulations. Colin says it hurts his soul. Um, when you lean on Long Island Watch to up your credibility, we have hit rock bottom.
I was thinking of Heimdallr. That's what I was thinking of.
Hmm. We've been pushing back a little bit. How's this robbing the bank? Nobody's forcing anybody to buy this thing. He earned his position in the community and he knows his customer. You don't have to like it. Wayben, I just feel like people are gonna buy this, um, and they're immediately gonna regret it, and then they're not gonna be able to get rid of it. And I just think there's nothing. No, I think very little effort was put into making this piece. Right? There's nothing about this that is exceptional. Even at there's watches at PRX, at $335. Of course, PRX is say what you will, it's homage, but it's a good looking piece, and I'd wear that 1,000 times over this watch. Um, yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, I don't know if I want to give this any kind of more um, attention, you know,
Yeah.
but anyway, I just wanted to talk about it because it was just very, very frustrating. And it's not this is not like in a vacuum. I mean, this is a lot of stuff that Mark does, right?
Mhm.
So it's not like I'm coming in hot with the Phoebus and the Mark collaboration. Like this is like this is built up. This is built
Mm,
up
mm,
for like
mm.
all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, let's remove that.
I wonder what the guy European would say about this watch after his take on Ophion.
Yeah, I mean, like so. I mean, do you think that that guy just didn't really know about Ophion and he
He
came out
seemed
that
to
hot?
know. He seemed
Okay.
to know. He just I think he kinda went into this thing about how he used to buy from European more than 20 years ago. He got a job there 18 years ago. He's
Hmm.
been selling there for 18 years. And before a lot of stuff kinda shot up in prominence during the pandemic. Before
Hmm.
the pandemic, he saw quite a few brands that kinda crashed and burned and people lost all their money, couldn't trade out of them. And he just thinks that now, you know, we're seeing things tighten again, and most people end up trading in and out of
Hmm.
watches quite a bit.
Hmm.
It's better to stick with brands that will retain some value, that
Yeah.
will be a little bit more safer. I think
Yeah.
that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, like you thought the quality of the watch was. I
I
think I
thought the
heard you
quality of the
saying that.
watch seemed very good for the retail price, right?
Yeah.
But they're asking
They were asking.
double the retail
They're
price
asking double, huh? Wow.
because it was, very limited
Yeah.
Singapore edition or something. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, always been curious about that brand. I mean, like, it's
Mm.
one of those things where, you don't see many of them, so it's hard to see one in person, but,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I kind of wanted to go to European for that watch. In fact, a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff I feel like I've seen before, and that
yeah,
one nobody has that I know.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Brave Sailor, what do you think of the upcoming Fossil Watch Charmin Ultra Soft toilet paper combo? Hey, man, there's some great Fossil watches. Back in the day, a buddy of mine actually, it's funny that you um, mentioned this. Like he sent me a picture today. We went to college together, and he said that, like his girlfriend at the time gave him this um, fossil watch, and it was a good looking fossil watch, and he says it started right up. It started right up after like 20 years. Um, or it's keep on ticking, whatever. I mean, it's of course has a battery. I mean, I don't know what he meant by it started right up. Like he says, it hasn't had a battery change and it started right up. So I don't know if there was like some sort of like sleep mode on. I have no idea, but it's good looking. It was a good looking watch, man. Um, Wayman says, I don't get the mark hate. He's no shyster. He knows his market. He makes what he thinks will sell. If you don't like his watches, just move on. Um, okay.
I think let's look at for a comparison at Fossil watches.
Okay.
Here's where we really lose the audience. All right. I would say these are better, and they're mostly 130 bucks, 180 bucks,
Yeah.
130 bucks, 160 bucks, 160, 130. Anyway, I'll shut it off before everybody leaves. But I'll rather shop at Fossil
Yeah,
for the
yeah. I
value.
mean, I'd rather have a mall watch, right, than that collab, for sure. This is taking a horrible turn. I'd rather get uh, a no-name quartz watch from a kiosk in the middle of the walkway of a mall. I think. Um, Paul's saying, I think most are blatant ripoffs. It's a cynical cash grab that takes customers away from the big brands like Seiko and into a backyard brand. Hard pass. Yeah, I mean, Wayban. I mean, I think like you either feel a certain way about Wayban. I mean, a mark or you don't, and that's fine. I mean, I do respect him as a businessman. I just you know don't necessarily respect how he's getting there. I'm gonna start a brand called Mall Watch and put all these bros out of business. Um, Vinny saying
I'll
would
watch.
rather have my fingernails pulled off one at a time than continue with this style. Okay, fair enough.
Moving on.
You got it, Finny. It's almost quitting time anyway. Symphony's saying I'm loving this topic because I always thought that I was the only one that hated all these Islander BS watches. Yeah, yeah. Look, I've bought my shit. Look, I bought several of the Islanders at first. I was like, this is great. It's like a Seiko, but the movement hacks, and it's got sapphire crystal, and and they were fine. But now it's just like the more and more I think about it, the more and more I realize like it's no effort for him to do that, and I don't know how he gets away with it. I don't know how he gets away. He must have the goods on Mr. Seiko, um, because it's blatant. It's a blatant ripoff, in my opinion. Okay,
Colin says, please take a look at a nice watch before signing off. It's kind of, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea too.
What do you want to look at?
Um, I don't know. Surprise me. I'm totally putting it all on you now.
I can throw up a couple real quick.
Yeah.
So, get a nice
Oh
IWC
yeah,
perpetual calendar.
that is nice. I like that.
I like these. Not this color, but I like these watches.
It's got the red tip hands though.
The red tips. Yep. Yep. It's got that. Let's see. I guess I shouldn't put up the sharp edge. Let's see. Or the dip and cell.
Yeah, we already talked about
Uh,
most of these.
we talked about these. This we didn't talk about. Lensman. I don't know if this is going to cleanse the palate for Colin. The
Well,
Haraj
it is
Lensman.
it is yellow like a lemon. So
Let's see. Photography themed.
I'm out.
5K.
Not it.
My
Nope.
goodness. And
Nope.
that's the VIP pre-order. It's going to be
No, thank you.
7K Swiss. Yikes.
No, 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 Sean. It wasn't. It wasn't on monochrome. What was on there? It was a. He came out with a YouTube video on it, and it was. I know I saw it because it was on my Facebook feed.
I'm just kidding. Let's see here.
James, I do find dogpiling on a watch or brand boring, even when the criticism might be valid. Fair enough. We do that at times here.
We can close
Um,
out with this.
yeah, there. Hey, good looking watch right there. That's
Yeah.
it. I'm
See, this is
trading
not
this up.
about snobbery. This is not a super expensive watch.
I'm trading this up. Trading this up. I'm gonna get.
All right, well,
Um,
let's do it for Colin. Colin
yeah.
wants to close out with this one.
Oh yeah. That's a beauty. I mean, I still think that would be hard for me to read,
Mm.
but it is a beautiful
This
watch.
is the view when you're driving, right? So that's not
Yeah.
hard to read, right?
No, I guess not. I guess not. You're right. Colin likes that Formex, he says.
I like that Formex. It's very well received watch. Most people either seem to like it or indifferent. Nobody really dislikes it. Sold out, right?
Last time I checked on rubber, it was sold out, but this was
Mm.
like late last week. So
Mm.
on bracelet, it was still available. Um, so
Looks good on bracelet too.
yeah, I'm not crazy about that bracelet. I just love
Mm.
the rubber strap way more. I mean, I would get it on bracelet and then just buy the strap when it comes into stock, but
Titanium?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this is a stainless, just brushed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to shut that. Still available.
Still available. Hmm.
Not on rubber, but still available.
Yeah, fun watch, man. I mean, like I love the way the reef fits on my wrist. So there's a couple of these a couple Formexes that
Sold
that
out.
that I'd purchase.
Both sold out on the Formex site.
Hmm.
So it looks like your last chance to buy.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yep. Well, buddy, thank you so much, Amin, for coming on tonight.
Chaz is
And
going all in on her work.
yeah, yeah, we aren't we all?
It's a huge pivot.
Aren't we all? I think Chaz, me, you, and several other people, if we put together all our collection, we can probably pick up an artwork. Um, anyway, guys, chat, thank you so much for hanging in there. It's all good, clean fun. So hopefully nobody takes anything we say seriously, and we will move on and talk about something new on Friday. Amin, thanks again
Thanks,
for
Rob.
please check out Amin on Instagram and on YouTube. The links to those are in the description below. And have a great rest of the night. See you guys on Friday. Take care.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.